You're watching the greatest television show in history, other than The Apprentice, Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV.
Hey, welcome back to this Freaky Friday edition of Liquid Lunch. No, that wasn't the president. Just a great impersonator. That's Johnny DiDomenico, great friend of the show. And the show, every single day, we try to bring you to people who know where the rubber meets the road. We try to bring you innovators, disruptors, and teach you something about what's going on. And today we have another one of those guys who knows it all when it comes to collectibles and authenticity and all that great stuff. Brandon Steiner joins us from Steiner Sports. And Mr. Steiner, you're a legend, right? You kind of made the collectibles game what it was, and then it kind of got away from everyone because there's no transparency, and people think it's worth one thing, and somebody thinks it's worth another thing. And now you're actually circling back. And from what I understand, you're starting a collectible exchange.
Yes.
So people aren't getting ripped off. So that, in the past, I'm a capital markets guy, right? And I've seen non-transparent marketplaces turned into exchanges. And it's a great thing for the consumer at the end of the day because the spread starts to shrink. But usually these, rent-seeking middlemen who really made money for providing no value are the ones that get squeezed out of it. And the real deal, authentic people who want to give you good service for a good price live. So you're creating the first ever exchange, is that right?
I'm doing the collectibleexchange.com because there's so many people out there that have so much stuff, and it's under their beds, it's in their closets, they don't know what it's worth. And I'm giving them an opportunity you can go to the site, you can find out what you have and what it's worth in a completely subjective opinion. And everything that gets sold on the site gets authenticated by
you,
my group. So we're not buying and selling anything, we're trading. But the greatest collectibles right now, I put out over 30 million collectibles myself, is underneath people's beds and in their closets, and then a lot of people are dying or they're trying to get their estates together. There's a big time of year where people are buying a lot. I'm also here to help people sell a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of people out there that are like, how do I get rid of a lot of this stuff?
Got it.
And that's my game. And by the way, I'm trying to give people an opportunity also to get the widest amount of products. There's great collectibles all over the country, and there's no way to go really know where you can buy that and do it safe, but I'm going to make sure that happens.
All right, so the website is collectibleexchange.com, but it's not EXCHANGE, it's just X.
Yeah, well, you can go to CX stuff.
Oh, CX stuff.
CX stuff or
Yeah.
collectible exchange X with an X, but you'll find it.
So,
it's funny, on the homepage, you can click on a button, take a picture of what you have, and we'll give you a valuation of what you have so you have an idea of what you're doing.
I like that.
So this is...
You guys are slick over there.
Well,
send us in a picture. We'll tell you what it's worth.
Because the most popular question I get asked when I'm walking down the street, what's it worth? I got something. Somebody left it for me. My husband just passed, and I want people to panic.
You know what the most popular question is asked of me and Frank on the show?
What is that?
Are you guys really drinking?
And the answer is...
No.
Ta-da!
No,
We don't know what
they
they put in the box, but no,
so
we're not really.
This is pretty impressive. So this is a marketplace where anybody, collectors, vendors, athletes themselves, can buy and sell collectibles.
Well, the good thing is the athletes can sell. We verify the athletes so they can actually sell direct to the fans. And they cut out the middle guy on that end.
That's great. Probably a little cheaper for the fans, too.
And it'll be more direct, it'll be more fun. Anytime I get fans closer to the game. But also, there's a lot of small mom and pop collectible shops that don't have a platform to sell their stuff on. I'm their guy.
So
I'm going to help them.
I know over the years, you find 10 boxes of baseball cards from 1975. And then you go on Google and you start hitting them up, and on Amazon you see, this card's worth $100 or $1,000. And then you actually try to sell it for that price, and that's like false advertisement. That's like what someone else is trying to sell it for. And then I come to you and say, come on, tell me the real deal, and maybe it's worth $15. Is that the spread you're trying to clean up now?
The spread really is, here's what we think it's worth. Your call to whatever you want to charge on there. I'm not trying to get you to sell it cheap so I can go flip it.
Right.
I'm here to help you sell for the best price you can and help the buyer get a good price and get what he's looking for, she's looking for. So the site now lives as a store as opposed to a quick auction or you're lost in a million and one things like on an eBay. You're in a really clean, fair, nothing under $100 on our site. So we want it to be a little bit more upscale, especially for the players who are putting their game used stuff on there. We want it to be a little more upscale.
On that point, I want to ask you a couple of tough questions, because if we don't ask you the tough questions, then they'll think it was a layup.
I came here expecting
Steiner has had, a great history of innovating and disrupting and changing the way these things are done. also been caught up in a few imbroglios. If this was game used, if that was game used, who signed it, did he wear the helmet, all this other stuff. We don't have to get into it. But when you say, is this, from what you learned, some of this, the collectible exchange, from some you learned where you can go, where things can go a little wrong, the authenticating and putting it out there in a transparent marketplace, is this basically the next iteration so
Yes.
you and others don't get in those type of jams?
I think so. I think there's a lot of athletes that want to do some things on their own. They can come to me and I'll authenticate the stuff for them. There's a lot of people that have stuff they're stuck with because their husband passes. Let me help them instead of some guy coming to the back door, giving you pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
I'm giving you an alternative, but also giving you some knowledge of what you have and what it's worth. Because sometimes the spouse is not involved in the other person collecting all the stuff.
So you said we're not buying it and flipping it.
No.
So you guys are not principally trading collectibles.
Correct.
And if you do sell something, you're only acting as an agent for the person who gives you that stuff.
And we're making a small percentage.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's a disclosed. What's the percentage that you make?
About 20%.
You make
Includes
about
the credit.
20. That's not that small.
Well,
That's
includes the
nice.
credit cards and
yeah,
then some of the other
3%
fees.
of the
Yeah.
credit cards, merchant
So,
fees, all
yeah.
that. So you disclose taking about a 20% hunk.
Yeah.
Right, and nothing else. So you're not going to buy my card from me for $50
And flip
take
it for
20% off
$500,
the top, and then go sell it to somebody else for $500.
I'm
Those
hoping you
days
get
are
your-
over.
Exactly.
I'm saying,
I'm now feeling with the knowledge I have, the experience of 32 years.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to go share that with the people that matter the most, the consumer and the athletes. I'm going to try to bring them a little closer.
I'm only asking this stuff so people
No.
can educate themselves and go and understand
Bring
that,
it.
you know, that's happened before, not with you, but all around collectibles, because there is no transparency. There is no central marketplace where you could see what the current bid and offer is. Now you're giving that to people.
I'm trying. I'm going to
I'm
try.
saying
and
you're going to do it.
I feel like I owe it. I owe it. I mean, the business has been really good to me. And I owe it to the fans and the customers, if nothing else. And the players have been really good to me.
Let me ask you this. You know anything about this new technology, the blockchain?
Yeah,
you
a little
heard
bit.
about this? It's the #1 newest technology for authentication.
Yes.
And when you put something on there, then no one can ever change that record again. Maybe me and you should talk about using this to authenticate
We're looking at
stuff.
that. The difficulty here is rolling back to all the stuff that's happened.
Yep.
And it's difficult when you get athletes on the fly. But it's real. I mean, it's certainly a solution.
Going
and that's what
forward,
we're- and that's what we're looking for.
going forward
Right,
for
right.
new guys
Yeah.
and their families, we got to
It's
talk
real.
more about
It's
that.
real.
You got to check out collectibleexchange.com. Brandon Steiner, he's like the godfather of collectibles,
Well,
and
thank you.
now he's changing the game once again, making it safer and educating and creating awareness for collectors and sellers of collectibles. Brandon, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
down.
Appreciate
We
it.
got to have you back. We're going to talk about it some more.
There's a lot of stuff going on in this business.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with John Tirolosi and a whole host of others right after this.